Hey, what is going on, you painfully pale Piplup? Coming at you with another Leafeon V-Star deck, and I know I've been coming at you with quite a few of them, but really is a bunch of different ways to play this card, and this one is very unique compared to the others that I've showed you. So spin on a list that Mahone originally came up with that had Leafeon V-Star, Beedrill, and Rillaboom. I've kind of cut the Rillaboom and gone a different route. I'm still trying to find a way to make Glaceon V-Star work. I've not been impressed with any of the stuff I've tried so far, but I'm going to keep trying to get as close as possible to something that seems reasonable. Okay, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the list we are going to be playing some games with today. So like I said, this is a spin on Mahone's Leafeon V-Star Beedrill Rillaboom build, but I did cut the Rillaboom. After playing a decent amount of games, I've actually played quite a few games with this deck so far. The Rillaboom just really never was very useful. I used it like sometimes when my opponent had a really aggressive start, but usually when we're up against a really aggressive deck, they almost always involve special energy. So Beedrill is there as our go-to attacker in those matchups, in those situations. So we got Leafeon V-Star in here as the overall main attacker, and I've been trying out one of Leafeon VMAX. So I got two V-Stars and a VMAX in here because sometimes the extra HP or the fact that it can heal with the max leaf just is a little bit better than having a V-Star as the attacker. Even if it is worth 2 prize cards versus 3 prize cards, sometimes it doesn't matter. And actually at the late game when our opponent has like 2 or 1 prize card left, it doesn't matter if something's worth 3 prize cards or 2 prize cards because if they KO it, they win. So then the VMAX can come in handy there as well. Of course, we don't play Galarian Mine, so Grass Knot is not a great attack unless we're going like turn 2 KO a Sobble or something, which actually has come up where I haven't been able to find that third energy, so I've gone the route of the VMAX just to get a KO on something like a Sobble. So yeah, we've got those in there, and then I actually have a 4-1-3. I don't know if you noticed yet, we have a 4-1-3 Beedrill line in here, so a lot of Beedrill. Now there's a bunch of matchups right now where the Beedrill's really good. It's not just good up against stuff like Mew VMAX and Single Strike where they have the special energy, but even up against decks like the Hoopa, Moltres, Weezing, and Teleon deck. All those are 1 prize Pokemon, and a lot of them are weak to grass, which sure, they don't play special energy, so Persist Sting doesn't actually work against them, but we have Jet Spear actually on the Beedrill. We can use the other attack on Beedrill, 1 grass, 110, and that's a 1 prize Pokemon, so it can trade really efficiently into a bunch of 1 prize decks. And then when we go up against the Mew VMAXs, the Single Strikes, stuff like that, we want more than 1 Beedrill as fast as possible, so when we play this many of them, we can actually make that happen with the 4-1-3 line of the Beedrill in here. And of course, with the 4 rare candy in there to get them out as soon as possible. The Kakuna is really nice when we're trying to chain out the Beedrills to help the transition be a little bit smoother from Beedrill to Beedrill, and make it so we don't have to like peony every single turn to find the rare candy combo. We can like kind of just use the Turf Fields or Evolution Incense to get to the Kakuna and then eventually get to the Beedrill. Support Pokemon in here, we do have the Kricketune, because it combos super well with Peony. Peony discards our hand. We find 2 cards that we usually just play immediately, and then Kricketune allows us to draw cards. And I've added the Oranguru in here as well, because it's really good at playing around, discarding too many important cards when we do use the Peony. So we can Primary Wisdom before Peony, or after Peony, or whatever. It's just really helpful, and we have the bench space for it. That's the most important thing here, is that we just really have that open bench space to be like, well, we can just always put the Oranguru down and utilize it turn to turn with the Primate Wisdom. So the Oranguru has been great in here. I've loved the addition of this for sure. Looking at the rest of the list, like I mentioned, it is a Peony build. So Peony is kind of our main, I was going to say draw supporter, but it's not really a draw supporter. Our main supporter in the deck to play turn to turn. We also play 2 Marnie in here for backup, and we have 2 Raihan in here, because without the Rillaboom, we need to be able to set up Leafeon to Leafeon sometimes, and that's hard to do without any Energy Excel when the attack costs 3 energy. So getting our first Leafeon setup isn't too big of a deal, because turn 1 we can go attach plus the Greening Cells. Ability to accelerate the other energy onto the Leafeon, and then the next turn we attach, evolve, and start attacking. But if they KO that over like 2 turns, we actually can't have another Leafeon set up ready to go by then. So that's where the Raihans come in to help us get to that point. If we don't want to all of a sudden go into a Beedrill, which only attacks for the 1 energy, the Raihan can kind of help us out there. So we play 2 Raihan in here and kind of, so almost like replace the Energy Excel that we sometimes utilize out of the Rillaboom. Got the Raihans in here instead. And then, of course, to boss, looking at the item cards, I mentioned the 4 rare candy. We also have the 4 Turf Field. There's a lot of decks with a lot of Pats of the Peak right now. The Gengar deck's playing like 4 Pats of the Peak. Jolteon's got 4 Pats of the Peak. So I went maxed out the Turf Fields because Pats of the Peak's annoying. We need to find our evolutions. 4 Quick Ball. And then I've got Battle VIP Pass and Capture Energy in this build right now. Only 2 Battle VIP Pass because we want to find a decent amount of basics on our first turn. But when we do go first, which we do want to be going, it's not as likely we'll see the Battle of VIP passes. So throughout the rest of the game, you know, turn 2, turn 3, want to make sure we're still finding our basic Pokemon. So I like some captures, but we are also playing Peony. So when we do go second, we want to, you know, get that many more basics set up and get them online as soon as possible, because we're going second, which means our opponent's about to attack us probably on their next turn. So we need to be a little bit more set up to respond to that. Whereas if we go first, we have like 2 turns to kind of set up our basics and establish our board. So we do have 2 battle VIP pass in here still. So on the turn 1, we can hopefully get the Peony, use Peony, and then find the battle VIP pass and really accelerate our, you know, our board progression or whatever you want to call it. So we still have 2 of these in here. Because sometimes find them on the first turn, but on the second turn, or on the first turn going second, we can use Peony to help us find them there. A couple Ordinary Rods to recover any unfortunate discards from the Peony, or as stuff gets knocked out to bring it back, and then 7 Grass Energy and a couple Air Balloon to make sure we have some kind of pivot out. And that's the list, guys. Leafeon, Beedrill. Shout out to Mahone for the original list with the Rillaboom. That's where I started, and this is what I have come to. Let's go ahead. Let's get in some games, and I'll show you guys how it runs. All right, here we go. We lost the coin flip, so we will be going second, which we do like to go first, but it's not terrible when we go second. A couple Weedles. Yeah, pretty good opening hand, though, as well. A couple Weedles. Got the Peony, so we can go for those Battle VIP passes, which I think I probably will go for here. It really depends on what is prized. Looks like we're up against Duraludon, which we're not going to be using very much B in this matchup. It's going to be pretty much all Leafeon, and specifically, we're going to need to go full on with the basic energy. Can't use Capture Energy in this matchup. Ooh, now that we got the Battle VIP pass, we might go with a Marnie instead. Marnie's really good against the Zacian deck as well. So yeah, we might just go with the Battle VIP pass, play the Marnie. I do want to quick ball something. I don't know what I want to quick ball here. So the Interruptor goes for my opponent. Okay, no hits. That's big. Definitely a big deal. The Leafeon top deck as well. I don't even know why I threw out double Weedle like I did, to be honest, because that's kind of just incorrect to just have 2 Weedles out there for literally no reason. Let's see here. Okay, we need to get to the basic energy, to be honest. I might just Marnie right now, to be honest. Let's just go with a Marnie here. Draw some cards. Hopefully get a basic grass. Got a basic grass. Did not get much else to work with. Then I'm wondering if I actually want to... Do I want to use the Leafeon VMAX in this matchup? I don't think so. It gets 2 KO'd and does less damage. Yeah, it just seems worse overall. Attach here. I'm going to go ahead and probably with some away the Leafeon VMAX then. There's a Leafeon V for next turn. And green cells. Get the energy onto the Leafeon V. We weren't able to draw any cards with the Kricketune V here, but we could thin out the hand low enough, or ideally can thin out the hand low enough for the next turn. Oh, wait, it is. Why did I think it was Duraludon? It is just like straight Zacian, it looks like here, actually. With Crobat. Yeah, for some reason I thought it was Duraludon. I don't know why I thought it was Duraludon. Did they mulligan or something to make me think it was Duraludon? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was Duraludon and not just straight Zacian. It is straight Zacian. So Capture Energy are fine to use in this matchup. Yeah, definitely just fine to use. I guess not. No, it should be fine. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. And in this matchup, we're kind of going back and forth, 2-hit KOing each other. So first hit is a pretty big deal. My opponent going with the Boss on my Guru, potentially trying to slow me down here. And I mean, the hand has nothing good. I mean, Wisdom, the Raihan. There's the Peony, though. That is great. And the Raihan, saving the Raihan there is also super good as well. So we're going to go with the Peony here. Lose the hand. We have to get our... Oh, no. It looks like our energy search is prized. Okay. So we will need to find an energy. That's not great. What else could we grab here off of the Peony then? Definitely want the Air Balloon. Maybe just a Turf Field. That'd be able to thin out the deck of a Evolution Pokemon before we use Kricketune to draw some cards. Seems fine. Let's go with it. Turf Field. Go ahead and use the Turf Field. Just grab a... Oh, actually, I don't want any of this right now. I was going to hope to get the Kakuna, but it looks like the Kakuna is prize as well. Fail that, and then exciting stage for 3. Hopefully find ourselves an energy here. No energy. Got a Candy B, but that's not going to be that helpful here. This is why we play the energy search, and it's just super unfortunate that it is prized here. Should to be green cells. Load up the Leafeon V-Star fully. They can't one-hit KO our Leafeon V-Star, so we have that going for us, I guess. But yeah, it really does stink to lose an attack there. It's a pretty big deal, actually. Now my opponent gets that first hit. If they hit the Beedrill, it's not as bad, but they could have another boss here to chase. Either, I mean, they could hit to knock out my Leafeon V, knock out the Cricketune. They would definitely have some options of what they want to go after here. So not ideal for us to whiff there. The Tool Scrapper on my Air Balloon, that's fine. I guess I could have retreated to the Weedle instead of the Beedrill, to be honest. I don't know why I went to the Beedrill over the Weedle. There's the Brave Blade on my Beedrill, so now I lose a Beedrill. Man, a whole bunch of sequencing errors so far, but we're still in it. With the Air Balloon, I want to hold on to my next. They usually play 2 Scrapper in these Zacian decks, so I kind of want to hold on to my last Air Balloon. Ooh, I don't want to lose the Raihan. This is why I like the Oranguru so much in the deck. We can, boom, save the Raihan. There's a Pokegear. We could check it. Yeah, we're not going to get rid of anything. And then Peony here. And get ourselves... I don't know. To be honest, like, Candy Evolution Incense seems fine. Set up another Beedrill. And then I can use the Turffield Stadium. Grab another V-Star for the bench one. We do need to find ourselves a... energy for turn. That's what we really want here. Oof, no energy again. Okay, Leaf Guard for 150 to the Zacian. And no energy. A bunch of turf fields. But no energy is going to be pretty rough. And we don't have any draw support in the hand either. No Marnie. No Peony. And I wouldn't mind Peonying this hand, to be honest. So maybe we'll top deck something on the next turn. Even just an energy would be okay. It's okay for behind like 1 energy attachment because we do have the Raihan to like re-accelerate some energy into play and get us back to where we want to be as far as energy in play goes. We did get the first hit on their attacker, like I mentioned. Not going to be able to take advantage of any of this. Whoa, and they're actually hard retreating to the Mew here, so must have a pretty bad hand from my opponent. Here comes the Mysterious Tail. So yeah, pretty bad hand from my opponent, or I assume it is. As we're running away to the Mew here. I might even go with just the KO on the Mew, and then we could look to go KO Mew, KO Guru, KO Crobat, and they also KO this Zacian. One thing I'm going to look out for, well, they might have their Zacian actually fully set up on this next turn, is Crystal Cave. I don't want to give them time to Crystal Cave this thing twice, because then it'll be out of range of a 2-hit KO. Here comes a Marnie from my opponent, so we're super thankful for that. Hopefully we see some energy off this draw. There we go. Energy, Peony, Marnie. Got some options here. And I'm probably going to have to set up a third Leafeon at some point. Ooh, they got the attachment for the Zacian as well. Do they have the switch? They do. Okay, so huge plays from my opponent here. And the Brave Blade on my Leafeon. Yeah, so I want a Raihan for the following turn. Attach to the Leafeon. I think then just play the Peony, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and grab... Quick Ball. Our Ordinary Rods are in there. And the Raihan. And then I can go with the Turf Field to grab the Beedrill. Ball it away. Grab a Leafeon V. Bench that. Cricketune for 2. And then I can Primate Wisdom the Raihan on top of the deck. Then even if... I'll go ahead and put this out as well. Not going to grab anything though. Yeah, Primate Wisdom the Raihan on top of the deck. So even if my opponent Marnies me next turn, we'll be able to draw into it just fine. And then, yeah, just going to Leaf Guard hit this Zacian, because I'd rather just take this Zacian out of play, to be honest, than go chase this one, because that'd reset my opponent's Brave Blade. So I want my opponent to work for their attack here. So they'll need, you know, switch Air Balloon, switch, or even switch Retreat the Mew would be fine as well. But I don't want to just give my opponent the reset. If I just go Boss KO this Zacian, sure, I get the knockout. But then my opponent just sends up this Zacian again and then just Brave Blades. So that's not good. We even see them setting up energy on the damage Zacian. Not even trying to get a new fresh Zacian in play to start to build up on. So that means we can be able to go like knock out this Zacian and then knock out the next Zacian almost immediately afterwards, which will be great. So this is setting us up super well, for sure. And how do I want to do so? I'm going to get the Raihan off the top deck next turn. We do need to set up another Leafeon. And I could go to set up the VMAX. Also go to set up the V-Star. There's a Marnie, but like I said, that's why we put the Raihan on top of the deck. So we will just draw into it, and there it is. Not much else to work with, though. We don't have the energy for turn now anymore. There's that Weedle I didn't take off the quick ball. Maybe I should have grabbed that off the quick ball earlier. Yeah, maybe I should have grabbed that off the quick ball earlier. Looks like my opponent did play switch, and they have the harder trees. See, this is why we don't want to go chase the bench one. Now when we take this knockout on this next turn, they're gonna have no energy in play, which is just really good for us. That's just really, really good for us. We do lose our Leafeon here, but we got another one ready to go through the Raihan. Looks like it is a quick ball. Go ahead and quick ball away a Weedle. Take a look through the deck real fast. Okay. I kind of want to keep the other. Poke. I'm gonna go ahead and I might wisdom the quick ball. Ordinary rod. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do both. I guess I'll get the option of both the V-Star and the VMAX. I should be able to know which one should be best. I think the V-Star is just gonna be a little bit better. So I'm just gonna go with the V-Star, and I'll get some grass energy back as well. We do need to draw into attachments at some point. Go ahead and Raihan here to the active. Then I do have to grab myself. Capture I'll go with. I could have like gotten a basic out and captured it back out, but I don't think that was worth it there. Go ahead and play it. Other Raihans. We have Raihan and Boss are our only two supporters left in the deck, to be honest. So I actually don't really like, even if this sees the Raihan here, I think I'd rather just draw the extra card through the Kricketune here. Hopefully we don't see the Leafeon. I also don't want to evolve the Leafeon yet, because I do have an air balloon left, but I don't want this to get stuck in the active. Right now, everything can be moved except the Oranguru. The Oranguru can't be moved either, but yeah, I don't want this to get stuck in the active. So if I evolve it, they could boss it and trap it in the active. They can do the same thing with Oranguru, but like, let's say I find the air balloon for the Oranguru after they boss the Oranguru, or they could boss this first and I put the air balloon here, and then they boss the Oranguru afterwards. So I'm just going to go ahead and wait to evolve. I don't actually think my opponent is playing Crystal Cave. I've seen this kind of build of Zacian before where they play like the Mew stuff, but they don't actually play Crystal Caves. We haven't seen a Crystal Cave yet. They still could play one, but I guess it would be that they probably don't play Crystal Caves. And then we finally find our energy search that would have been so good on that second turn. We're finally finding it here now, a little bit late. But I would say better late than never, but I don't think we want it anymore, to be honest. So better to stay late. It could have been like our last prize card, and that probably would have been optimal in this situation, to be honest. So not better late than never. It should have stayed a little bit. It would have ideally been best if it had stayed a little bit later. But it's here now. Who knows? We might still be able to get some use out of it. Maybe, maybe not. And our opponent's going to have to work really hard to get a knockout this turn, though, because they went with that play. They had to switch into the Zacian with 2 energy and then hard retreat it. They only have 2 Metal Saucers left, so they have to get, unless they have like a Raihan play to be played, they have to get like a lot of cards here to actually get a attack off this turn. They are setting up the Zamazenta. If they do go with the attack with the Zamazenta, they will get rid of our capture energy, which will be annoying. But they are going with a boss stall play. This is what they're talking about. Boss stall. Now it's on my Guru, and we can't move the Guru right now. We do have an air balloon left, but we have no Peony left, so it's going to be hard to get this here. I'm going to evolve to the Leafeon. Now I'll be attaching to it so I can hard retreat it. A boss in a hand ourselves. We can't afford to lose this boss. It's our second boss here. I'm going to try and draw as many cards with Kricketune as possible. I don't think there's anything to grab off this. No, there is the air balloon left. Oh boy, oh boy. We have a lot of energy left, right? Like, I'm just going to play this in check. We have 3 energy left and an Ordinary Rod and a Capture. Okay. We can attach this here. Quick Ball the Capture. How many boss do they have left? They've only used 2, so it's a good chance they have a decent amount left, to be honest. And I could go for the boss this turn right now and then hope. I'd be seeing 4 cards out of 11. There's a decent shot. I see the air balloon. I think I'm going to wait and see, though. There's the air balloon. Oh my gosh, what a draw. Gonna go with the boss on the... Oh, so I could go KO the Zacian here, but then they could actually put a cape on the Crobat. So I think I should actually go after the Crobat here because of that. Treat. I will Primate Wisdom, the Battle VIP Pass. Don't really do anything. I'm actually going to shuffle my top deck here, but I'm not going to grab the Raihan because I don't think my opponent's not going to guarantee take a knockout next turn. And and then Leaf Guard. Yeah, we want to keep out the Crobat here, because otherwise they could put a Cape on it. But currently, the Zacian, even with the Cape, we knock out. And there's nothing that I can think of that they could use to heal it there. And we're not going to use our Ivy Star. We're going to use the boss instead, because the Ivy Star will always stay in play as an ability that we can use to gust up something. So it kind of becomes like a checkmate effect in play. Like, we don't have to find boss anymore. We just have Ivy Star in play on this Leafeon V-Star. And that's generally how you want to play towards matches with Leafeon V-Star. When you're using like gusts to close out games, you want to save Ivy Star for as long as possible, because your opponent can't remove it from play unless they're playing like Path to the Peak, of course. And if they are playing Path to the Peak, we might have played that differently. But I'm guessing my opponent's not playing Path to the Peak, because they're playing a Zacian deck. They play Crobat. Like, very unlikely they play Path to the Peak. And if they do, they got us. But I think it's pretty unlikely they don't. Or pretty unlikely they do. And we still have one turf field left anyway, so we could still potentially find that as well if they are. But yeah, that's how you want to kind of play it. You want to... Actually, going after my Guru here, so taking away some of my draw power here. I like this play from my opponent, but it doesn't make a difference here. They get their prize card, but it shouldn't make a difference here. We've got the Ivy Star ability, and that's why we saved it. Like, if we had held the boss and my opponent Marnie's me, I guess we could have like Guru'd the what's it called? We could have Guru'd it. I guess we could have Guru'd the boss on top. So maybe it doesn't work out quite that way this time around. But you guys get what I'm saying. Save your Ivy Star ability for as long as possible. If you know Path to the Peak isn't a potential card coming down from your opponent, but if it is, you might want to change it up. You want to use the Ivy Star as soon as you can and save your bosses for later. Does depend on what you're up against and kind of the situation, but there definitely should hold the Ivy Star. And you see, they can't do anything about it. It's just in play, ready to go when we need it. All right, here we go, getting into it. It looks like we're probably up against Mew VMAX based on the sleeves and the deck box, but who knows, right? Who knows? We got the Guru start as well, which is great, especially if we can find ourselves a Peony. Yeah, we are up against the Mew VMAX here. Yeah, we're looking for that Peony on this first turn. Find ourselves some Battle VIP passes, which looks like our opponent has found themselves one as well. And also find ourselves a Leafeon and start setting up from there. So probably sequence out this hand, quick ball, get a Leafeon, attach a Leafeon, and then play the Pokegear. Yeah, quick ball with the Beedrill, play the Pokegear, hopefully find ourselves a Peony. And then, yeah, Ordinary Rod the B back. And Guru the Rock Candy, and then play the Peony, get the Rock Candy back in the deck. That's what I love about the Guru so much in this deck. I think I mentioned in the last game as well. It's just like when we're playing Peony and stuff, discarding our hands very aggressively, it's nice to have some of those cards go back sometimes. Okay, now we can quick ball away the grass as well to get another basic. So we can go quick ball away the B, the Kricketune, quick ball away the grass, get ourselves a Leafeon, play the Pokegear, get a Peony. Hey, love to see it. Throw the Leafeon. Throw down the Kricketune. I'm with some rare candy. Important to have for later. Got ourselves a Weedle. That's an insanely good draw there. And then do both on this. Back to B. Back to grass. And then hopefully our second Battle VIP passes in here. Oh, we haven't played one yet. For some reason, I thought we had played one. We had so many basics out already. And then I think we're going to get the Energy Search. Guarantee a grass hit. And Battle VIP pass. I think I'm going to get a Leafeon and a Weedle and then split the energy and play towards the Raihan a little bit here. Because if I put 2 energy on a Leafeon, I feel like it's just going to get boss knocked out. I feel like I've got to play like a little cheesy here and go, well, we got to draw our energy off the Kricketune. We have to like split the energy on the Leafeons here, I feel like. But then we're like super reliant on, ooh, and this hand has a lot of energy in it. All right, Green Cells. Do I commit it to one Leafeon? I should have gone triple Weedle if I was going to commit it to one Leafeon, but I feel like I'm going to get boss KO'd if I put it both on one Leafeon, but maybe they'll have to put down a special energy, but they might not. That's the thing about this matchup, is the Beedrills are usually great. When the Beedrills are great when our opponent actually puts a special energy in play, but when they don't, we can be in a little bit of trouble. So it definitely can have its moments where it's not as good, to be honest. Definitely has those moments where it's not as good. It's going to be one of them coming up here. Let's see. There's the Mew VMAX. Yes, they are able to find just like a basic Psychic, which isn't too hard to do. They usually play 2 to 3, and then, of course, the Fog Crystals to help find them. So unless they play like 2 and prize it, they have a good shot of finding one here. And, oh, but that's a special energy. But my hand is not great. My hand is not great. We're going to have to, like, send up the Kricketune. I don't even know. Do we send up the Weedle and just hope to top deck a Peony here? Like... The hand is so lackluster. I almost feel like that's what I should go for here. Let's go for it. Go Weedle. Top deck is a Leafeon VMAX. Can evolve that, attach to the active. 2-for-1 into Peony every time. Peony off the Pokegear. Peony off the Pokegear. It is. Oh my goodness. What a pull there. What a sequence to get us out of there. Gonna grab the Turf Field and a rare candy. Insane sequence of cards there to get us back in this game from when we were basically out of it. To be honest, we were not looking like we were in a pretty good, very good spot at all. The Persistent Sting, or Persist Sting. Coming in clutch here. Air Balloon off the prize cards is great so that we can set up our Kricketune. Capture Energy, not so great, especially if we have to set up another Beedrill on this next turn, which we might have to do because our opponent probably going to try to knock out my Beedrill, but if they do knock out the Beedrill, they will be attacking with something with a special energy. So once again, we're basically a Peony or a rare candy away from actually just getting the KO. Here come a couple tablets. Yeah, my opponent looks like they're maybe struggling to just find the right cards here. Dramatic Tails. So no Sparkle yet, it looks like, as they draw with the Genesect. And if they don't find a Sparkle this turn, the Beedrill will stick around. We can start to set up some energy here on the Leafeon VMAX. And that's a Peony. That is not, I don't know if you guys know, Peony is not Elsa's Sparkle. In case you didn't know, now you know. So we're basically set up to close this one out, to be honest. We're going to be able to capture on my Leafeon. Might be able to get out a Kakuna. Might be able to find ourselves a Kakuna here. There's the old cemetery. But yeah, we can just boss chase this Mew. They're probably going to retreat to a Genesect and hope I don't have boss here. But even if we didn't have boss, we could even like find ourselves the Leafeon VMAX. And that would work as well. But no, that's just the concede. And that's usually how this matchup goes, to be honest, when we get the return Beedrill knockout. The concession is usually on its way. And that's the power of the B against the Mew. So to do it for these games with the B deck. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you did, give it a like, enjoy the content. As always, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.